What's up, and welcome back to another edition of Pro Pels Talk, presented to you by Company Burger, located at 4600 Ferret Street. Lito joining me tonight. There have been changes made to the medical staff. Lito, love to hear your thoughts on this. You're going to hear my thoughts on this. But Christian Clark came out with an article today stating the Pelicans plan to restructure their player care and performance team after their injury-marred 2022-2023 season. Aaron Nelson, the Pelicans vice president of player performance and care, has been in charge of that department for the last 4 seasons. Lito, we talked about this ad nauseum.
Yeah.
You have talked about it all off season. You don't care about players. All you want is health. Okay. Change has been made. You've also been driving that train of, Griff said that changes need to be made from top to bottom. Well, this is his first major move this off season. And unfortunately, it's Aaron Nelson. And I think that a lot of people are celebrating this move, and everyone has their own opinion. That's fine. But what we kind of talked about, Lito, is I don't think it's very fair that one guy gets this blame. I think it's on a lot of people. I think that players need to be held accountable. I think medical staff I think everybody needs to be held accountable. And so I want to hear your thoughts on what you thought of the move. Did you think it was the right move? And what's next for players like Zion and Brandon to stay on the court?
All right. So let me start by saying Aaron Nelson is a legendary trainer. He's had an exceptional career. He's brought Grant Hill back from the dead, kept Shaq alive. He nursed Steve Nash to winning 2 MVPs. Amari Stoudemire, his whole Phoenix regime was incredible, right? I can't 100% put this situation on Aaron Nelson. Everybody has played a role in the situation. Players have to stay healthy on their own outside of training. Trainers can only work with what they have. Aaron Nelson is not a doctor. At the same time, I tweeted that I don't know if this is good or bad, because as time moves forward, who do you put the blame on next season for player A missing time, right? Whose fault is it then? I feel like it's on everybody, and I will say, Griff said changes from top to bottom. This is a big change. I'm curious to see what direction he goes as far as the training staff. From what I know, there was some mistrust between the star players and not necessarily Aaron Nelson, but I guess how the training staff handled the players. And we talk about this all the time, their ramp up process sucks. I hated it. I hated to see it. It was just, to be honest, I don't even like the word ramp up. Anytime I hear it now, all I think about is Zion's, what was it? What was the spurts?
When you don't remember 5 minute spurts, 15 minutes total. It was awful.
Was ridiculous.
And you put the coaching staff, and I thought Gentry got crushed by that. You put Gentry in literally an impossible situation to succeed. And I agree with you, Lito. I completely agree with you, right? And you make a great point, though, is that I don't think that it's fair that everybody's just putting this on Aaron Nelson and it's him, he's the problem, things like that. Players have also need to be held accountable. Okay, Zion Williamson has to take care of his body. I don't there's it's 5th year. Okay, he has to take care of his body. Brandon, same thing. Brandon, I feel like does. I feel like the whole Zion. I'm trying to hold my cough in. I feel like if Zion can get right, I don't think it necessarily matters with the medical staff, because at the end of the day, Nelson can only control what was going on inside the building, whether it be on the table, whether it be in the gym, things like that. He can't control once a player leaves the facility or the arena, whatever it may be, you're on your own. And I think that you make a great point, because I think everybody needs to be held accountable. I think too many people are just shouting out at Aaron Nelson, we made the change, thank God. But there's still other people involved in this. And I think that the players need to be held accountable as well. But Lito, you want to see moves made. Okay. Well, this is the first big domino to fall. Okay. So the Pelicans under Nelson finished 7th, 27th, 20th, and then 7th again in games lost. Obviously, this year was a disaster.
Yeah.
What's it like moving forward? Because you say, well, what's the excuse now?
Oh,
Does this fall on Zion and Brandon and
absolutely,
other
1,000%.
players?
Yeah, no, this is on them. This is on them. This is technically off the record what you asked for, right? So now you gotta put your big boy pants on and you gotta man up and you gotta, you're a little injured. You gotta play them games. Like you're a little hurt in game 30. Everybody hurt. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you the starter the stars of the team. You gotta see it through. While we on that though, I do want to say one thing. Um I'm I don't, bro. Like the situation is so muddy with the Pelicans and their secrets of how they want to do things that, like, I don't know if this is good or bad. What I can say is I'm happy to see Griff right his wrongs in his mind, whatever wrongs that he feel is not the proper thing. I like that he changes it, and I'm happy to see Griff chase. I'm happy to see Griff make changes and chase success, whatever that is, whatever that looks like. I don't care who he brings in. I want players that will be healthy and play and fit the team, right? And with that being said, how much? All right, here's what Griffith's going to win the situation. You bring a new training staff in, right? How much worse could they do?
That's the thing. You can't do much worse, right? And that's what that's what I wanted to, I guess, last segment of the show is, well, what is next? Because you mentioned communication and they're not really forefront. Like, I read Christian's article today. I still don't know, is Nelson part of the team? I mean, it just says the ones Pelicans
I
plan to
mean,
restructure their player care and performance. What does that mean?
he don't quote me on this,
It's like
but
the Zion thing. It's like, oh, we'll reevaluate him in 2 weeks. He's ramping
the
up. He's not ramping up. He's got a concussion. He's not in concussion protocol. Like, what is it?
the word that mm,
Do you see what
the,
I'm saying? Like that.
the word restructure, is that synonymous with step down? Is that
Is it
synonymous?
fired? Did they let him go, or is it? Is he still part of the staff? Like, once again, I know we're
Right.
a lot of people are happy with the change,
Wait a
but
minute.
what is the change?
Wait a minute.
You're muted, Lito. What's the change? I don't know the change. Did we bring somebody new in? Is Oster now the head of the go ahead?
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
All right, sorry. Listen, I just thought about this.
you.
So he's stepping down as the head of the training staff. What if he
No,
stepped
no, 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 no. Aaron Nelson, the Pelicans vice president of player performance and
player
care, has
performance?
been
I'm
in
sorry.
charge of that department. He's been in charge of that department.
What if what if Aaron Nelson is just gonna go back to being the trainer?
I don't. This is what I don't understand. Like, people are still like celebrating the change. Like, I don't know what we just read. Like, that's the other thing. And like, I think Jeff Duncan, my quote tweeted Christian, said like there'll be more information coming out.
What that mean though?
I still don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. But anyways, I mean, we know a change is being made. I'm sure more information is going to come out. People are happy about it. What I want to make clear though, Leo, before we get off, everybody needs to be held accountable. I still think
Absolutely.
it's a little. I think it's a little unfair that this all just fell on Aaron Nelson when Zion Williamson took 4 months to come back from a hamstring strain. If you want to blame that on Nelson, okay. I don't know what else to tell you. I mean, sure, like that's fine, but I think Zion should also be held a little bit accountable there.
I think Zion should be held a lot accountable.
Okay, Brandon Ingram, 40 games for a toe. Some called it turf toe, some called it a sprain, some called it a bruise, some called it a jam. Like,
That's the
once again,
disconnect though. That's what I'm saying. That's the disconnect.
this is what's very important. What a lot of people are not understanding. Like I don't even know Jose's injury. Like, not much less Jose Alvarado's injury. I know
I
he
don't
was
think he
supposed to come
knew.
back.
I don't think they told him what his injury was. Seriously, I don't think they told him because I'm gonna tell you
So do you
why.
think that's Nelson that all falls on Aaron Nelson?
Nah, I don't know, bro. It, this
There's
is a
just so
cloud
many
of dust.
questions
I don't
that
know who this falls on. I just know 1 minute I saw Jose. He was wearing sneakers, and the next game I saw him, he had a boot on. Like is crazy. And then he had a boot on. They were talking about he was going to be reevaluated to play the following week, and I'm like, we
We
just
still
had a
don't
boot
know
on
what
Saturday.
happened. We still don't know what happened with Zion's re-aggravated injury. Like he was just like, yeah, well, he had a setback, and
You're never going to get full.
which
I
is
come to the
fine. And
realization.
franchises do that a lot, but like, there's just so much questions around everybody that's injured. And like, I guess like, yeah, like, is that Nelson's fault? Is the player's fault? Is it the entire medical staff? Is it Oshner? Like, there's still, I think, more questions to this.
Let me say this. Let me say this. Regardless of whatever happens, right? Regardless of I have no feelings about Nelson. I have no feelings. I have no dog in the fight. I want Griff to do whatever he needs to do to make this team better. If that's restructuring the training staff, restructuring the coaching staff, if that's restructuring the roster, I don't care. I have no loyalty to nothing. I want a winner.
And that's important. I'm glad you brought that up. But I do want to say one thing, one common denominator. We talk about Delvin Breaux, and if you don't know much about Delvin Breaux, local New Orleans legend, got misdiagnosed, ruined his NFL career. Talk about Michael Thomas. Why is Michael Thomas not right? Aaron Nelson's not part of the Saints.
Oh no,
Oshner's part of the Saints.
Oh, that's the big, yeah. That's
Oshner's also part of the Pelicans.
Yeah.
So you have these mystery injuries with Zion and Michael Thomas and Delvin Breaux, and I think I'm missing another. Like, I think it was a safety for the Saints and things like that. Like Marshawn Lattimore. Lattimore missed like 10 weeks last year. No one really knew. I'm just saying, I think there's a little bit more.
It's Oshner.
That's all we're going to say. Yeah. Well, first domino falls. I think it's the most important year the New Orleans Pelicans. I think if they see this thing go sideways, I think David Griffin might be gone. The front office will be on the hot seat.
What is the domino? What's the domino? Because we don't know where it fall. Where did it fall into another department? Like did it fall into just like we don't actually know where it fell.
The New Orleans Pelicans plan to restructure their player care and performance team. It says team, but then Aaron Nelson, who's the vice president of player performance. Do you know? I don't know if it's a stupid question.
No, I don't.
Is it? I'm like stumped. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'll find an answer in the tweet. But yep, first domino, I guess, has fallen. We shall see what David Griffin is up to next. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I would love to hear y'all's thoughts. Is it all on Aaron Nelson? Is it all on the players? Is it both sides? What do you think? Like, comment, subscribe. Presented to you by DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of Boo Crew Media and the NBA. We'll see y'all later.